The next set of tools you can use to create a successful composition are negative space and scale. Now, these are two really important design concepts that can be used to create hierarchy. Let's start with negative space. Negative space, or some people call it white space, is the blank space between content in your design. It's important when you're putting together a layout that you let all the elements breathe. In other words, elements need space around them. The common trap we all fall into while designing is to try and fill every available space on the page with content. This makes it really tough to know what to look at and to truly understand the information. It's almost as if all the elements are screaming for your attention at the same time. It can also help lead the viewer's eyes and create stronger hierarchy. It helps users know what they need to look at first, second, or third on the page. Negative space can also amplify content by isolating it. In this example, the vast negative space around the text amplifies not only the text itself, but also the scale of the book, which is 12 inches by 14 inches. Or it can even add to the visual story. It's a common design mistake to try and fix a layout by adding to it. I've done it before, many times. As a rule of thumb, when you add something to your layout, you should always ask yourself, is this really necessary? Most of the time, the answer is no, it's not. If an element isn't adding to your layout and its message, why keep it? Negative space acts as silence on the page. It's a way of making your design quieter and giving the viewer a chance to take a visual break. You've probably heard the saying, less is more. Well, it was originally said in the context of architecture, but the concept applies to graphic design as well. On this page, almost every empty space available is occupied. There's no visual space to make any of the elements feel special. Your eyes can't focus on any one thing. So how do we fix it? Well, first we can make some of this text smaller. This will give us some more space to work with on the page. Next, do we need so many images on the page, or can we just use one or maybe two? Currently, because we have so many small images, it's hard to look at the details in any of them. How about we only show one? If this was a book or a postcard or something like that, we could show images on the other page or the other side. This allows all the elements to breathe and also feel special. There's now much more space available on the page for the reader's eyes to rest. Scale is another tool that can help us achieve hierarchy and really also a more dynamic layout. Scale refers to the size of the elements and their relationship to each other. Our job as a designer is to figure out what this relationship should be. One thing to remember is to always have intention behind every decision you make. When you work on a layout, if you find yourself stuck, you can try using scale as a tool to help fix that. Scale can make a layout dynamic and engaging. An unsuccessful layout would be one where all the elements are similar in scale, like I mentioned. There is no contrast, making the page feel bland. Creating contrast between a really large element next to a smaller one can make for a dynamic layout. When we see this large square next to a smaller one, it makes the large square look even bigger than it is. When working with scale, think extremes, something that might even feel uncomfortable at first. Your first instinct might be to make it only a little bit larger. Try to really push the scale, making it so big that it almost doesn't fit. You want to see the effect large scale has on your layout and how it interacts with the other smaller scale elements on the page. On the other hand, try making something really small and see what effect that has. Make it so small that it might be hard to see, and then scale it up a little bit as needed. Don't be afraid to try something extreme in your compositions. You're the designer. You have the freedom to experiment and play while you work. Look, you're going to make mistakes along the way. We all do designing. But don't be afraid of those mistakes. The worst thing that can happen is you don't like the scale. Then don't use it. The goal here is to create a dynamic layout and to excite your audience. Now it's time to put what you just learned into practice. Use the exercise file and try to explore pushing at least one element to an extreme. See how that feels and also works with the rest of the elements. Try different compositions with the text, the images, and all the graphics. Lay them out with ample negative space around them. As you go through the exercise and work on your own projects, keep asking yourself, is what I'm putting here essential to communicating my message? If it isn't, get rid of it. And remember, less is more. There's a lot of clutter in the media we consume, and it's our job as designers to make our work stand out. The more times you do this, the more you can compare and learn with what you've done in the past, what works and what doesn't work.